Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing? You know, in India, we had a word called karma, alright? Karma, which in Sanskrit is act. In Indian religion and philosophy, the universal causal law by which good and bad actions determine the future modes of an individual's existence. Why am I hitting you with a little history lesson? Why am I hitting you with a little philosophy? Well, a few days ago, actually several days ago, we talked about Artesian PC. And I saw a bunch of Twitch stream highlights that I couldn't actually believe. Imagine being a large company and crapping on those that have, subscriber counts you don't believe to be big enough. That already sounds pretentious and weird. But what if I told you that one mistake started a domino effect? You know what I mean? A little domino, you fell. Your company died. Now, I got a little bit of I want to talk about it. This is a good, nice, juicy story for a lot of people who want to hear about, bad karma fails. Now, Discount Star-Lord, as we looked at basically last week, who was running a lot of these things, had an apology, talked about it. They basically did the whole PR thing, okay? We're sorry. We're sorry. Now, if you want to get a reminder, let's listen to an example of a highlight, something you would catch on an Artesian PC stream when they were active, okay? Let's listen to this one real quick.
This is a two-way street. You
Two-way
scratch
street?
our backs,
Okay.
we shine your shoes.
Shine my shoes. I scratch his back, he shines my shoes.
Handmade
I
leather
love the
belt.
jazz music.
We give you a new hat. It's mutualism. In nature, there are more on the belly of the shark. We can't afford to give away epic multi-$1,000 free PCs. Partially sponsored by Intel and Pixio. Thanks so much. You guys are great. Epic free PCs to just any old body. We give you the tools, the technology, the trust to work with us and refer folks to buy Artesian build systems. Some of you are normal and make a few referrals. Some of you don't make any. Some of you are Braythorns. You people deserve best.
You hear that? Better get those referrals up. We don't just hand these things out for free. Get out of here. Now, last time we looked at the laws regarding giveaways in California, we already considered that a bit questionable. But, we'll get to all that in a bit. So since then, Artesian Builds has went from that all the way to, at this point, we are examining a potential employee-led buyout of the company. Thank you for your support. Yeah, they went down so bad that the employees are, there's a buyout going on. The company is actually shuttering, okay? In fact, for further clarification, Artesian straight up said, we are sad to announce that effective now, we are freezing, suspending all activities. Ongoing is analysis by outside counsel lawyers for reorganization to ensure fair treatment of clients, creditors, and employees. We expect more info by month's end. We are open to assistance investment, which is actually something I'm going to jump into, but that's actually a little later in the video. Now, of course, after you've been sort of brought into the entire fold and you've seen the fallout from this one situation, it goes a little bit deeper than that, okay? Now, Artesian Builds is a company, obviously, which caters to a lot of people in the, custom PC gaming sphere. If you want a custom PC, you have a few options. Artesian was one of them. You went over there and said, hey, I need this PC built, and they would build you a PC. Now, they also stream these PC builds out there, which is all fine and dandy, but when you got that kind of acting, when you got that kind of pretentious, smug, I can sniff my colon faster than anyone in the goddamn world can energy, then that frankly doesn't fly too well in the eyes of the adoring public, okay? That's frankly why Artesian Builds just frankly went down. Now, if you're going to question the typo in Artesian, I'm going to actually question how a business can operate with a weirdly suspicious business license. Now, in the last few days, okay, one thing that I was looking up was business licenses. Now, when you're running a business, one of y'all might have to realize that you need an active business license to operate, okay? For instance, here's licensing details for 32721, okay? Now, they're based out of California, okay, and they're going by Artesian Builds. License type, service contract seller. License status, delinquent! What? Of course, that isn't the only thing to look for. I then looked in through the, government websites for North Carolina. It turns out Artesian Future Technology is still a current active company, it seems, since 2018. Domestically within, the state of Northern Carolina. It's actually still current and active, okay, as of me recording this video. Now, then I looked further into the California Secretary of State website over here, so, business searching in California, and it turns out, yes, they actually did have FTB forfeited. So what FTB forfeited basically means is the Franchise Tax Board forfeited the actual, the business license. Again, if you click further into it over here, you can see that effectively at this point it was forfeited. Foreign, I guess, basically means that it comes out of state in the U.S., from North Carolina. Yeah, the business entity was suspended or forfeited by the Franchise Tax Board for failure to meet tax requirements. So yeah, what I'm actually understanding from FTB suspended or forfeited, based on my experience in running companies, is that basically they're not paying the annual fee that you would have to keep your company running, or they may actually have, the extreme end could be, from what I understand, if Canadian law is to be applicable to this, all right, if we're going to make like some level of comparison, there might actually be a crap ton of delinquent taxes. We may not actually know. There's not enough information on a lot of these websites to basically definitively put into anything like if there was tax delinquency, tax fraud, or anything of that nature. Yeah, if we're going to go by the open corporates branch over here, you can see that change of status from suspended forfeited all the way to forfeited and became inactive was 2021. Okay, so like basically at the tail end of 2021 is when they lost it. So if they were still operating right now with the suspended business license, that's not really okay. That's not right. If I'm to understand how the law works, how are you running a business? How are you partnering with streamers with a fucking suspended license? What? Now, there's been a few sites that have thrown out accusations and basically pointed out, a lot of weird, sussy things. Okay, things that I really can't get to, like the CEO Noah in this case buying $150,000 a goddamn i8. Oh man, the story just gets funnier, dude. But anyways, it's not about it, okay? It's not about that nonsense. This ain't Gran Turismo 7. This is how to screw up a company. Now, I thought Artesian Builds was a pretty sizable company, just to be honest. I think, like, when I looked at all the PC companies, they definitely were ones that were very much in the forefront of our radar. Like, I remember a lot of bigger streamers, people that I follow, typically had an Artesian Builds, partnership. So it wasn't like they were some new off-the-company block. So the whole, like, franchise tax board thing, a little sussy, to be honest with you. And it's made me, like, look into the actual tax filings of every company I'd ever partner with, just to know that, are they even legally clear to active? Because I could not conceive that in the States a company like this was acting so brazenly with a forfeited license according to the actual government. That's a little wild. But going to their website, yeah, dude, they're still up. They got archives, sure, but clearly they're not accepting new orders, okay? Like if I go to custom PC builds, you can see that OTK, which actually canceled their, their partnerships. You can't even open it up. They're gone. The page can't be found. That partnership is done. That can't be. This thing is all gone, dude. Now, if I try buying a PC over here real quick, all right, add that to cart, $4,250. Proceed all the way to the juicy checkout. I hope this doesn't actually go through. I'm not going to put it through. And frankly, the page is not loading, which means that I don't think they're going to be putting up any more buys. Now, to understand, I would recommend y'all refund your systems. If you ever actually bought an Artesian Builds right now, maybe in the past 2 weeks, or maybe during this whole story was developing, you probably should cancel it, okay? Because they're actually laying off a bunch of people. There was an employee-run buyout, okay? So the moment the person handling the refunds is gone, but refund as quick as you can before that avenue is lost, okay? Because I just saw a $4,000 price tag, and I don't want anybody losing $4,000, okay? I don't want you losing $40. $4,000? God damn, I'd cry. Now, to understand, there were a couple other YouTubers, like Christopher Yee. You might also remember him as the person that makes a lot of tech content channel, like tech stuff, building computers, talking about computers, building streamers' computers. This guy's legit, and basically he interacts, obviously, with a fair amount of streamers right now, okay? Like, big people. So he had this to say about, like, something really sussy going on in building the computers, okay? This really shed some light, if true, on Artesian's, practices.
One of the content creators who asked me to take a look at their Artesian Builds PC was just like, I'm not getting the performance I need to get out of this computer. How come it's not working? And we took a look at everything on her computer, and then we took a look at the control panel to see what was wrong with the performance. And then we realized that there was some type of EVGA software on there that I hadn't seen before. Apparently it was EVGA's fucking overclocking program. And we found out that the people at Artesian that built the PC, in order to combat their overheating problem, they apparently have just been shipping out computers with a 10% throttle on their GPUs. There is a 10% throttle on GPUs that they have sent to creators, partnered creators, right? that they were just sending that. And they didn't even fucking tell him. They didn't even tell him. It was just something that they did because they were like, they're not going to.
Oh, boy, that is dirty. So what he's talking about is basically when you buy a computer, you build a computer, okay, it's going to generate some heat. Now, when you buy like 3090s and like 6900 XTs, these are big cards. And typically, they will generate a lot of heat. Trust me, I have a 3090 in this system, and it generates some juicy heat. It's actually not that good, okay? It hurts. It's a nice space heater, bad for summers. What they were basically doing is, if you ever download a software like MSI Afterburner or Riva Tuner or things like that, or EVGA software in this case, they have the option for you to overclock or downvolt a card. Now, if you downvolt a card, it generates less heat, but it also generates way less, performance. You basically get less of the card's, performance than you normally would. And 10% means a lot when you're maxing out graphics or upping the resolutions on massive monitors, okay? 4K monitors, ultra-wide, whatever. Why buy a 3090 when you have to basically, circumcise? You can chop a little bit of it off, make it lose itself a little. I guess the best equivalent is if I opened up a terminal right now, okay, and I just went, sudo NVIDIA SMI, which is power limit, okay? And it went from 420 all the way down to 100. What this basically does is it kills the actual performance of the card, okay? Now, I'm trying to make sure my video isn't badly screwed. But what's effectively happened is it went from 420 watt usages to 100 watts, okay? So if I fired up a game right now, it would stutter, like a lot, okay? It would stutter harder than Jimmy from South Park. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to set this thing up to 420 to get the full usage of my card. So basically, they were setting this a little down because they couldn't build a computer properly. They couldn't counteract overheating issues, allegedly. And that's why, if this is to be believed, this is terrible build design. You do not trust a company that's this bad. This is not a fix, okay? The fix is proper cable management. The fix is proper case utilization. The fixture is proper airflow, okay? It's not, designing a computer in the most haphazard way and just pretending the problems don't exist because you downvolted the system. That's lazy. That's wrong. Don't even get into development if that's what you do, okay? Christ. Now, aside from, possible, definite delinquency as far as I've been able to see on the, business registry board, aside from the beautiful land of building a computer wrong and the giveaway nonsense, it seems like Artesian truly is done for. And it really goes to show you, if you're working with any businesses out in the market, you really need to make sure the people behind it can absolutely run the business right, okay? It seems like nobody at Artesian that was publicly facing in the stream world was actually good at what they did. But the story isn't good, because at the end of the day, what's actually happened is a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people worked with this company and have lost it. I think they had something like 40 to 50 employees, which is a lot of people that are working for the company, who were unfortunately affected by the actions of one CEO. Now, I was completely serious when I was talking about, hey, I would actually like to buy this company outright. I have no problems buying something like Artesian builds. And I'd actually be completely supportive, again, if the financials meant that I wasn't paying a significant debt issue, or the fact that these guys weren't going to liquidate all their assets and run away with whatever they had, okay? Genuinely, I look at companies like this and I think, hey, with some serious restructuring, you could seriously do a lot. I think the market for PC gaming, like, manufacturers, like custom PC builders, in the streamer space, in the gamer space, it's a big market to tap. And there are a few players in the business. But to truly be successful in something like this, you actually have to know how to build a computer. But if I was to buy this, I'd like to actually build Muda PCs. I'd like to actually build VM builds that are actually like two computers in one. I think streamers would absolutely love the fact if I could create one system that had the ability to basically split its resources effectively, dynamically, to create a streaming PC and a gaming PC that they could create that would allow them to stream in ultra-wide qualities, 4K qualities, without any real hit to their actual performance. Nothing sort of chewing things up, basically having a clean system to game on, to edit on, to stream on, all at the same time, without those situations affecting each other, using a Linux hypervisor and various virtual machines beneath it. I think I can make the whole situation very easy to get into, and I'd actually like to tap into a lot of Linux creators on this platform, people like Mental Outlaw, and the Linux Gamer, if you will, and a few other tech channels that actually know their Linux very well. I would love to tap into it and build a market like that. And I'm totally serious on an offer like this, because I think what Artesian did, and I think the people involved, a lot of those talented individuals, deserve a new home and whatnot. That is to say, though, a lot of those people have left the company. Some of them have reached out to me, and they have gone, they have left, and they're going into greener pastures. What I have learned from something like Artesian Builds is it takes 1 week for you to lose your entire spot in the entire business world. But did you even have that spot when you had chances of delinquent licenses running around? And the fact that allegedly, it seems, from big creators out there, basically, and people don't throw out accusations for no reasons like that on the internet, okay? I totally actually have, like, Christopher Yee would not be saying what he did if he was not in communication with a bunch of these, like, streamers. So, again, you know, I'm not saying what he's saying is truthful, but it's not something that's completely out of my realm of believability. That being said, though, if you're going to build a computer, build it right, and if you're going to run a business, run it right. It seems like Artesian didn't know what they were doing, and frankly, I'm not surprised to see them fall. That said, though, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.